The next conversation is going to be about Kilifi County, and we're talking about the Kilifi County International Investment Conference that's coming up shortly, and we'll hear more about this from the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County. We asked people to tell us online, who's the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County? Answers. People they're almost giving us your life history. Her Excellency Flora Chibule is the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County. She's in the studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Karibu sana. Accompanied by the Chief Officer for Trade, Lynne Farrah. Good morning, Lynne.
Good morning, how are you?
Welcome to the hot seat of the Situation Room.
Thank you.
Karibuni sana. Now,
Asante.
the hot seat begins this way. The proverb. Okay?
Oh dear.
This week,
She said, oh
the
dear.
proverbs are from Africa,
Okay.
south of the Sahara, north of the Limpopo, east of Africa. Continue, City.
Well, yes, this particular country neighbors a country that has the longest coastline on this continent.
Yes.
It also neighbors a country that is best known for its bananas. It also borders another country that begins with T. It borders another country whose name begins with S. Another one whose name begins with E. Which country do you think this is?
Kenya.
Your Excellency?
You mentioned Tanzania, but it's Kenya.
Okay. Clearly, the two of you did not utilize your time in geography class well. It is Kenya. It is Kenya. So our proverbs for this week are from Kenya, and I was asked, well, Kenya has many communities. I said, yes, they do, but we have a national language, it's Kiswahili. So the proverbs will be in Kiswahili. Yes, your task will be to translate it into English, and then now tell us what you think the meaning is. Okay? Haki nimechoka kutangatanga, hapa tatia nanga. That's the proverb.
Say it again, Bwana. Wait, that's something like a story.
But that's what I thought it was.
Haki nimechoka kutangatanga.
Haki nimeongeza mimi. It is because wallahi nimechoka.
You're
Nimechoka.
emphasizing.
Yes. Nimechoka kutangatanga. Hapa tatia nanga. Translation first of all.
Okay. Nimechoka kutangatanga. I'm done with it. I'm just fed up of going hetla sketla.
Bas.
Hapa natia nanga. I've okay, direct translation. I've reached. I'm contented. You know? I'm tired of going here and there. I think I'm focused. I'm contented to be where I am.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
What's
I
interpretation?
I agree.
All
I
right.
think it's the same thing. You know, I'm tired of wandering about, and here I found my home. Yes. Oh, here I set my roots.
what do you think that means?
plant myself.
You've explained it well, but what do you think it means?
Okay, in layman's language, it means, we are fed up. I've worked, I've done so much, I'm not being successful. There are things that are not thrown to me well, and here I am. I want a way out. It's like you've come to your senses. This is the direction you want to go. This is the focus I want to achieve. Ruthless focus. I've found my path, and I'm going to stand on this path because it's going to lead me somewhere. So it could be in whatever context, it's a Kenyan, whoever it is tired of maybe doing the same things, doing the same things always without a plan, and you don't make a shift. You'll achieve the same results, and those results are the ones that we are tired of. Kiswahili tunasema punda mechoka. Punda mechoka bwana. So we have to, lazima tuangalie mbinu mbadala. And we are looking at, we have a way out. There's light at the end of this tunnel. Let me go to this way. Let me take this route. It shall be well with me.
Very nice.
Yes.
CEO, do you agree?
I agree completely. And DG was a teacher. My Kiswahili is very challenged, so I go with what she says.
You defer to her knowledge and wisdom.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, Kilifi County, am I right that it's the county with the longest coastline in Kenya?
Yes.
Very true.
Okay. So blue economy pale top level.
Blue economy ndio mambo yao yapikwa pale.
And then when it comes to agriculture, you're also big on several things in agriculture. Like which one?
Okay, in Kilifi, we say we are a nut growers. That's cashew and coconut, and also fruit growers. The sweetest pineapple you've ever tasted comes from Kilifi, a place called Magarini. Then we have watermelons and mangoes, big scale. Of course, there are other things, but those are the major in agriculture.
Right.
Of course, the people of Kilifi, our staple food is ugali. So we have maize, but of course we have maize growers in Kenya, bigger than Kilifi. Of course, as far as subsistence farming is concerned, we have the other type of cash crops, but then major in nuts and fruits.
Right. Ndu, pia bamba iko Kilifi.
Safari ya bamba.
Ni machero.
Oh my God.
It's a song.
We used to sing it in school, and I had no idea where it was. So as I grew up, and I had a friend who was like, so I was like, what is Bamba? Where is Bamba? So when I first went to Bamba, I was like, this is Bamba.
You get it.
So the day before I went, I was like, oh, Nena, Bamba Machero. Machero is tomorrow. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Machero.
Bantu.
Okay.
Lynne, sing for her.
Safari, oh yeah, Safari ya Bamba ni Machero.
Okay, I could do something.
Yeah. Bamba is a town in Ganze sub-county. We have 7 sub-counties. So Bamba is part of Ganze. It's quite wide.
Yeah.
Why do they say Safari ya Bamba ni Machero? Machero is tomorrow.
Yes. So maybe it's you want to plan. If you don't plan, you'll fail. So Safari ya Bamba ni Machero. One, proximity. Bamba is quite far. Yeah, so we are talking of from CBD Kilifi. It's around 1 hour, 20 minutes, 1.5 hours. We thank God, Kera. So the roads are now good. So give it 1 hour, 20 minutes. But before it was 2+ hours to reach Bamba. So Safari ya Bamba ni Machero. It means you have to prepare. You have to pre-plan when you are going to those spaces. You cannot say you want to accomplish something the very day. Anything can happen on the way. I mean, our roads, sometimes the potholes and what have you. You reach there late, so you might not accomplish your quest.
Okay. Lynne, what else are the economic activities in Kilifi?
Tourism. I don't think there's any family in Kilifi, maybe less than 10%, that have not been, who don't have a family member who's involved in tourism or who was involved in tourism. So tourism is a major, it was, and it started to decline, but it was a major economic backbone for Kilifi. Manufacturing is also a big space. Real estate, a lot of people are building homes. There's a lot of land in Kilifi, so people are setting up factories. We have mining as a big area. One of the things we want to look into is medical tourism. It's a good place to recuperate. So if we can tap into that space where somebody you set up a hospital, a state-of-the-art hospital, instead of flying out of the country, come to Kilifi, get your treatment, and have a nice place to rest and recuperate. DG has spoken about agribusiness and agriculture and blue economy. So those are are the big areas that we have right now and that we want to continue to exploit, as well as looking into other areas.
Okay. So let's then talk about the Kilifi County International Investment Conference. We're saying it's What is it, Your Excellency?
Okay. Kilifi County International Investment Conference. I mean, we all know about conferences, and we are telling the world, we are telling Kenyans that we in Kilifi, we have investment opportunities. We don't want people to think of Kilifi just like a place for holiday, like what the chief officer has mentioned, a place to the people who are suffering maybe from arthritis or during COVID, they were looking for safe spaces there. But we're saying the investment conference, we want to tell our story, because the uniqueness of Kilifi, one, we already have investors, to be precise, 98 already investors in Kilifi. So we are telling our story that in Kilifi we have the natural resources there, we have the people. I mean, we're talking of human resource, both skilled and unskilled. Human resource that are trainable. So when we are talking about the investments, you're talking of opportunities that have not yet been tapped, much as we have the 98 investors already. We have the low-hanging fruits, like the minerals that we have in Kilifi, best titanium, manganese, iron core, all the building materials, limestone, kokoto, sand. We have all that. We've just talked about the longest beach line. We have places, just the seashore, which have not been tapped. We are looking for opportunities whereby people who want to invest in hospitality industry, they will come to Kilifi to see what is already there, or they put up new spaces. We are calling people from the global spaces in who are hoteliers and things like that. And she mentioned about health tourism. So in that investment conferences, one, you're going to have an opportunity to speak, being in discussions with experts in different fields, because we want to talk about health, we want to talk about tourism, we want to talk about a blue economy and agribusiness. I mean, we have the Galana Kulalu, but what else, what more can we do in those spaces? We are talking of renewable energy. 10 out of 12 months in Kilifi, we have the solar. I mean, how can people come in and invest in the renewable energy, for example? So that's the story we want to tell the world. What you can find in Kilifi, the culture, the people, and the landmarks. Having 2 UNESCO
sites.
Yeah, 2 sites, the Arabuko Sokoke, the Gedi ruins, the sand dunes, Hell's Kitchen, Vasco da Gama Pillar. You know, when you're talking of religion, when you're talking of education, it came to Kenya. Have you thought, Latiff, which part of Kenya did Vasco da Gama come to? Ludwig Kraft come to? It was in Kilifi. And that's where education then spread throughout Kenya. So those are kind of stories, those are opportunities that we want to tell the world, that there is more in Kilifi. And from where I sit, the governor we are not just giving political goodwill, we are bringing out political choices. We know the climate of investment, and we want to share it, and we want people to come on board so that we want the investment to be all about the people of Kilifi. The current leadership, we have developed a plan for the next 50 years so that even when the investors we are calling them now, it's not about the current government. We are looking at this current government, which is going to be in the next 10 years and beyond. So that at the end of it all, it's about the coastal, the Kilifian people who will open up to business opportunities. I mean, we are talking of the youth, which is 60% of the 1.5 million Kilifians. And when you're talking of Kilifians, it's cosmopolitan.
Indeed.
Yes.
I want to look at some of the industry that you talked about, especially the nut industry. Of course, that has been big. So every time, just looking at some of the things that would be big for industry, food is always one of them. And if you look at coconut and we look at cashew nut, very big coming out of Kilifi. And if we are saying that there needs to be some kind of investment, for what exactly? For us to understand what would have been the issues that are ailing the nuts industry in Kilifi, because these are big ticket items, in my opinion, and from what we've been able to see. What's ailing the industry at the moment that investment essentially would cure?
I think if you look back several years, there was an abundance of cashew nut trees. I think kids during the holidays there was a season where you would drive through Kilifi and you could smell cashews roasting. There's the fruit of the cashew that people would eat with no shirt on because it would stain your clothes.
Yes.
But now, because of maybe policies or an availability of consolidated markets, people opted to stop growing cashews in order to focus on other things. And the same has happened with mangoes, the same has happened with coconuts. So you find the coconuts that were planted by your great-grandfather are probably the ones that are still being used now. Now what we want to do, because like if you travel, even if you come to Nairobi, the price for coconut, even Madafu water, is so high. People are bottling. I've watched videos of guys in Thailand, like they take the whole dafu, they clean it up, they do it in a way that it can then be sold, and when you go to the supermarket, you buy it and you can have it fresh. So we want to, get people to now start growing them again. We have, there are some organizations in Kilifi that are doing cashews, but they don't have enough, We can't, so we want to encourage our farmers and investors to come, and this is a market, it is available. The price of cashew nuts is much higher than the price of peanuts, So can we get into that space? Can we now consolidate the produce that we have and export it or sell it out there so that there is a ripple effect?
Indeed.
You look at cocoa, you look at coffee, you look at tea, we have a cash crop, but we're not utilizing it the way we should. So this is what we really like. I think so when we're looking at investors in the production of it and investors in the value addition. And I think that's with all the products. Even when you're talking about blue economy, production, value addition, farming, production, value addition. So that's the thing that we really want to drive, and all in a sustainable way.
Is there a plug-in to the global scene? Because I think about what happens with shea nut in West Africa, and then what could happen with coconut oil. The world is going gaga over coconut oil today, and here we have it in abundance, and the potential for it to be huge is great. So would these be some of the conversations that are being had? Something that has global desire, and you have it right here. It needs a little bit of a kick to then be able to really get global.
One of the advantages Kilifi has is its proximity to the port. You're less than an hour away from the port. So anybody who wants to export does not have to travel far, So we are looking to consolidate those market linkages, So because we have interest from the Middle East, we have interest from Asia, we have interest from the European Union, from America. So this is, it's why should people be getting coconuts from the Far East, or why should they be getting cashews from India? Sometimes you go into places and you look and you'll see it's produce of India. Why? We have our own cashews here, So we need to take pride in what we produce and put it out there.
I have to ask this question. What is the county doing? What is the deliberate action that the county is doing to ensure that the things that you're saying happen? And I'll tell you why I'm asking. There is a cashew nut factory in Kilifi. We now have Pwani University in Kilifi. Most people don't even know that Malindi is actually in Kilifi County. They know Malindi. Okay? And then there's this huge development on what was once a sisal farm that everybody talks about. Pingo
development.
Kilifi County. Now, it appears that Kilifi started taking steps backwards as opposed to forward. There was an MP of Malindi town called Francis Bobby Tuva. His history was actually quite amazing because there was a cooperative he started that actually owned shares in a beach hotel in Malindi. Now you're talking about the previous century, not this one, okay?
Yeah.
They even had a bus company. Then there was a cashew nut factory. Then in the 90s, late 90s, there were plans to actually deliberately plant coconut trees in abundance so that the very thing you're talking about should be done. There's a blueprint, even as I speak now, in the Ministry of Finance. It exists because the homework was done. People went to Indonesia and all those guys, and they came back and they said, this is the plan. Now, my question, when the county government seeks to uplift the livelihood of the people of Kilifi, what are the deliberate steps that they're taking to ensure that this abundance of wealth that actually already exists, is enhanced and tapped so that everything that you're saying is not only achieved, but a lot more than that is achieved?
Thank you so much, Muga. It's true. Back then, when you talk of Kilifi, we have the sisal. We actually had the cashew factory. But then, later on, it ran down. We now have one also owned by one Chinese, a private one. So, some of the deliberate steps is, for example, we have a body called Carlo in Twapa. We were looking at the ancient cashew crop. Part of the trees attracted people to make charcoal, to cut down. So we got a new seedling, which we've distributed to our farmers. It takes a shorter time to actually get the nuts. We are also looking at ways in which we are going to also bring another new breed of the coconut. Of course, the best one is the ancient one. It's taller, and it takes a longer time to get the nuts. But then we have the correct climate to grow these cashews, to grow the coconut. So what we are doing is we are telling our farmers to incorporate, because the beauty with these two are they can be intercrop. I mean, you can also grow other crops amongst these ones.
Them.
And another thing which we have really emphasized in Gideon Maitha's government, we have these agricultural experts who normally also go for follow-up activities right in the grassroots. It was one thing, a long time ago when people were looking at cashew, when they were looking at coconut, they were just growing it as if it's just it's a bush.
Yeah.
But now we are giving them knowledge that you're doing it intentionally. The way we could weed our crops when we are growing these other crops. We will just let coconut just grow in the wild. But now we are bringing that knowledge to our people, that you just take care of a coconut tree, you take care of a cashew tree, just like the people who grow maize, the way you grow coffee, and the way you grow tea. And then we have these agricultural experts who go and see to it that in case there are any gaps, we address those gaps.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to empower a community and then you let them be. Because we don't want post-harvest losses. We don't want situations whereby they are going to have crises like pests, like some of these things that normally crop up and the crop dwindles. So we have a deliberate effort to ensure that we really we really skyrocket the farming part, because part of His Excellency, our manifesto, is sustainability in food production.
Right.
Yes.
And
that is key. Yes.
It's a big thing. Let's take a break at 24 minutes to 8. We're having a conversation about the Kilifi County International Investment Conference 2024. What date is it, Lynne?
4th to 6th of December.
From the 4th to 6th of December.
And on the 7th, we have a golf tournament.
Where?
So
4th to 6th, where?
At Vipingo Ridge in Kilifi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Open to all.
Open to all. Pay, but it's open to all.
Very good.
So we have the VIP, and I expect you guys will pay VIP tickets.
So
Yes.
you're saying we are free to pay.
You're free to pay. Exactly. Thank you.
It's at Vipingo Ridge on the 4th to the 6th of December.
Yes.
Of course, everybody will be flocking in there now. This is a night time for me now to plug in my associations. Next to Vipingo Ridge, if you're looking for accommodation, you can go to Pazuri at Vipingo by Superior Homes Kenya.
Asante.
Plug, right? Yeah. So Pazuri at Vipingo is one of those that Lynne is talking about.
Yeah.
Real estate development company, Superior Homes Kenya, developing about 110 acres of beautiful homes at Pazuri at Vipingo. Her Excellency Flora Chibule is the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County. Lynne Farrah is the Chief Officer for Trade, and she'll be stepping out to allow Charles Kamau to join us. He's the Advisor on Strategic Partnerships. Kilifi County International Investment Conference coming up in December, and this will be at Vipingo Ridge. Her Excellency Flora Chibule, the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County, is now joined by Charles Kamau, Advisor on Strategic Partnerships. Charles, good morning.
Good morning to you.
Welcome to the hot seat. Well, now you are not getting the proverb, but you heard the proverb.
Yes.
It's okay. Umeponea. Umeponea. Now, the issue of strategic partnerships is what you're playing a role here in bringing in the investors and everybody who will be participating in this conference. Now, apart from the organizers, who of course are the Kilifi County government, who else is participating and how do they get involved in the conference?
Thank you. I think one of the things that I want to appreciate is the strategic moves that Kilifi County has made on its intentionality to bring everyone on board in terms of partners. And I think, and if I recall, 2 years ago when the current government came into power, led by His Excellency Gideon and Madam Flora, it was their intention to bring the private sector and the development sector on board. And they have made quite a number of steps, which I know the Deputy Governor will share. But so some of the partners, and the Deputy Governor has also mentioned about 98 investors who are directly investing in Kilifi County. We have quite a number of development partners who we have been working with. Just yesterday, we were hosted by the Swedish ambassador for the Nordic Day, and we have quite a number of strategic relationships, including some of which are digitizing our vocation training colleges in Kilifi through through a program called School Try. We do have one of the largest real estate development in Kilifi, which is run by Centum Group, and they're also part of us, and in terms of believing in the agenda, and also something that I know it's very close to the Deputy Governor's heart about the youth and employment, and I'd like her to talk about it, which is the export processing zones that we have in Kilifi County, who are also coming, which are one of the largest employers in Kilifi County.
How many EPZs do we have in Kilifi?
4. Yeah.
Okay.
And
Talk about them.
Yeah, and the other day when do you call her Excellency Megan, right? When she came to see the governor and myself, she really reiterated that they want the EPZ to be big, the clothing part. As it is with them, we have the Revital in health, but they also want on the clothing, or rather textile industry. So with the EPZs currently, we have the implementing partners, the USAID, and those that they work with. For example, Generation Kenya, whereby the focus, the target, it's the youth. And we're looking at youth currently in skills, technical skills. And there's a lot. In fact, the biggest employer is all those who are working in those different sectors. In the clothing line, in the health facilities like the Revital I was talking about. And at the moment, we're talking of the Special Economic Zone Authority. We've just partnered with them. And when you're talking of spaces in Kilifi, we still have land. And we're already in negotiations. In fact, we're just waiting for gazettement, where we are going to have infrastructure, and it's going to, we are talking of 10,000 plus youths employment. Okay, we base youth, but of course in the youths we have the women, we have the men who sometimes feel left out. But that is the scope in which we want to take our people, our youth, because any leadership today that does not put the youth in mind, you're doomed. So those are the areas in which we really want to tap. So for us, the investment conference is all about creating opportunities that are going to give youth the jobs that we need. When you're talking about the youth bulge, you're talking about job creations. We are talking about connectivity. The chief officer mentioned why Kilifi, the proximity we have with MIA. We have Malindi Airport. Right in Vipingo Ridge, we have those small airstrips that can be there. And we are talking of, he just came in, we are talking of the epicenter with the Nordic countries, so that we bridge up that techno thing, because the world is going digital.
Absolutely.
And we have to create those spaces for our people, so that wherever you are, you could work. I remember if we go back to during the COVID time, many people came to settle in Kilifi County. Why? The climate and the connectivity, the Wi-Fi. People could work from home. People
are actually moving and relocating to those
We
parts.
have 4 international schools, and we saw people just bringing, in fact, there was a very high student rate at that time. And we say, hallelujah for that.
Yeah. So let me ask, what incentives is the county government of Kilifi offering to investors? I know, so there's a special economic zones, there's the EPZs that we've talked about. What incentives are you offering in terms of even licensing, access to permits, land and access to land? What else are you offering? So that you can tell the investors who come for the conference that actually I can make a decision to move over to Kilifi.
One of the things that I would want to start by saying is that over and above Kilifi County having political goodwill, it has made a political choice to be investor ready. And to that end, in the middle of last year, there was we organized an investor roundtable, an intentional meeting of everyone who has invested in Kilifi, and telling them what are some of the things, what are your bottlenecks in terms of doing businesses in Kilifi. And several sector-related meetings have been had, whether it's in mining, whether it's in agriculture, whether it's in blue economy, so that we can unlock these bottlenecks. Through the government of His Excellency, the Governor, he's now set up donor relations and private sector engagement unit, which is a one-stop shop for any person who is coming to invest in Kilifi. The other outfit that has also been created by the Kilifi County Government is a Kilifi Development Investment Corporation, which is now an outfit then to sort of be a place where you can go and get all your permits ready. And we've been able to see, demonstrate some of these things and some of these engagements with the real estate, for example. We have the One Voice Consortium that have chosen, these are members of the diaspora, who have chosen to construct their retirement homes and their holiday homes in Malindi. And through them, there was an intentional journey to work with them and make sure that, at any particular step, and I think they're one of our brand ambassadors in that. And something else that I would want the deputy governor to also mention, because this, for me, I see this as something that is more personal for them, being as coming from leadership and not just being in power, is how open they are to conversations. And it's something that we always get. I know His Excellency the Governor has just come back from Egypt, and where he was talking about urban development and making our municipals even bigger. And I want the deputy to chime in on the intentionality from a leadership point of view as well.
Okay, just allow me, even in this conversation, to talk about registration. Guys, the investment conference is on the 4th to the 6th of December. To access our registration lines, it's invest.kilifi.go.ke. Please get into your mobile phones and go to these spaces. And we also have a line which is open to every Kenyan in case you have any queries. That's 011 6 111 444. The same 011 6 111 333, then 555. So don't forget invest.kilifi.go.ke. Come in sponsorship. Like at the moment, our main sponsors are the USAID agencies and team, KCB, Centum. So the real estate, the financial institution, and USAID with its developing partners. And we are also looking at apart from why Kilifi, why investment, we want to create a space whereby international investors who come in, they're also going to talk about the different lineups we have. But also we want to acknowledge our very own from Kilifi. For example, currently the advisor to the president, we have Stanley Chai. He's seasoned in blue economy. So those are part of the experts who will be amongst the panelists. Then we are talking of Shaukat Abdulrazak, our very own from Mariakani, who currently is the director of the International Atomic Energy in Vienna. So while we're talking of Kilifi, we're not just talking about the spaces, we're not talking about the opportunities, but we're talking of having experts on our own who can also
homegrown
who can also give their views in why we should go this direction. Yes,
it's interesting to hear you say that. So I wanted to see how we can envision a direct connection between having the conference, the investment conference, the opportunities, and then the outcomes that you would already envision would happen as a result of this. So the conference happens on the 4th to the 6th of December.
Yes.
We wake up in 2025, for example. What do we expect to see as a result of this happening in the county?
Okay. You want to take it first, then I'll finish.
I think one of the things I would like to paint is a picture of the journey, and I've mentioned the round table that we had last year with about 160 investors, and then there has been sector-related roundtables around tourism, blue economy, and mining. And now what we are seeing now is, and I like now to go back to your proverb. Yeah, we have been seeing a lot of things happening all over kutosha, and we're now giving it a home. And that's why for us, when you think about the launch of the Kilifi development in investment corporation, we are finding home. And so any investor who then comes in, then there is ways in which we are moving on with the conversation. One of the things on how we have curated this particular program for the conference is that we have even invited private partners and our partners as well to be knowledge managers for each session. So, for example, we have the Africa Health business doing our health related conversation. We do have Tony Blair Institute, which is curating our manufacturing agenda, so that the conversation does not end on the 7th after we've played golf. It continues to Q1 of 2025. The Deputy Governor has mentioned about our intention to sort of twin the epicenter in Stockholm, which is the largest innovation center in Europe, in Stockholm, with the Kilifi Innovation Hub that we are planning to do. So there's quite a lot. So we want, and one of the things that, and I think this is one of the things I would want to quote the governor saying, he has always told some of us who are planning this is that I do not want a talk show. I want action. I want action-oriented things to be done during that particular conference. So this is a conference with a difference. If I may just
the question is, what's the picture looking like in 2025?
What are we going to see happening? Yeah.
So we want an increase in infrastructure development in Kilifi. We want to look at more job creations. Currently, we don't have enough. We are talking of a percentage of maybe over 40% to also be incorporated. Currently, we are talking of about 45. Okay, we want to be optimistic. We said that the remaining 55 to be incorporated, but I know it's going to happen in phases. Yes, we are looking at sustainable growth. We're talking of food security. I mean, we want sustainability in everything that we do. We are looking at a diversified economy. As it is, Kilifi is diversified. Mention Kilifi, you have all tribes in it. We have all part of the nationalities. For example, in Kilifi right now, we are saying the tourism has been the backbone. I can tell you, we have Kilifians who can speak in Italian. You can think they were born there. In fact, we have a small Italian village in Kilifi. So we are trying to say, even the international spaces, they can find home in Kilifi County. We are looking at enhancing the quality of life.
For Kilifians.
I mean, there's more to just, we are not looking at, when you're talking of this investment conference, we are not saying, hello, just look at the profits. That when you come in, you're going to make profits. But we're looking at how is this Kilifian transformed? When investors, you're coming into Kilifi, how are you touching my women, the youth, the men in Kilifi County? We want value addition. We want transformation. We want a people who will appreciate what these investors are doing. We thank God for the ones we have, but for the ones that we are bringing on board. That is why part of the space during the development, the investment conference, we are going to have field visits, whereby we've designated a few of the investors, so that the whole team that comes in, they can actually sample and see. Seeing is believing, guys. You know, the Thomas type of Christians. We have to see so that we believe. Yes, touch. So we are saying, come over to Kilifi. You know, people have the mindset that Kilifi, Nushago, and you know, we were big in Shakahola thing, but we have a lot that we can talk about Kilifi. When you come to the spaces of Kilifi, you will believe indeed this is it. Okay.
I want to ask the question about, so as you attract all these investors, they're coming in and they have very many requirements. If it's agro-processing, if it's tourism and development in blue economy, if it's real estate, they will need skilled labor.
Absolutely.
Is Kilifi ready to offer this?
One of the things I would like to mention, so you said rightly, so during COVID time, we had an influx of people who are working from home. In fact, it was, for us, from Kilifi County, it was an economic boost because we had quite a lot of people coming there. And one of the strategic decisions that we made and partnerships that we made is with an organization called Powerland Project. And Powerland Project wants to do 1 million developers, software developers in Africa. And part of their dream, we plugged into part of their dream to do 5,000 within the next 5 years. We've now already graduated 350 learners with software skills. What I'm driving at is that we are intentional about creating a critical mass that can fit into the job market, whether it's for export or whether it's for local consumption. Her Excellency mentioned about generation, where we are partnering with them to sort of and I like the model for generation because they say if there is no employment opportunity, then we're not going to upskill these people. And so with more partners, what we're trying to do even within the special economic zone that we are now setting up, which is one of the field visits, 3,000 acres, with very good strategic conversations with the Chinese Chamber of Commerce as well, and also when you look at the tourism as well, one of the other strategic partnerships that we are doing is with KCIIC, as a leader in MICE for over 50 years, and we're in discussion about how they are going to empanel Kilifi as one of the destinations that they carry along in terms of in terms of marketing out there. Okay. We are also big in sports tourism as well. We also big, having one of the scenic Vipingo region where we are going to be having our conference is only PGA rated, of course, within the region as well.
That's true. As we conclude, Madam Deputy Governor, give us your parting shots about this Kilifi County International Investment Conference, 4th to 6th of December. Invest.kilifi.go.ke. What are the final words?
My final words is when you think Kilifi, think global, think of opportunities. For example, he just mentioned about the special economic zone. We are talking of 3,000 acreage. We are manufacturing will thrive. We are incentives for both local and international will thrive on that place. We are talking of manpower. We have enough manpower, skilled and unskilled, trainable, and we are saying come to these spaces so that you can actually see for yourself what Kilifi has to offer. We are talking of apart from the ambience, apart from the tourism attraction that we have, there's a lot. The mining sector, food security, blue economy, which is the driving force. Just to mention, His Excellency Gideon Maitha Mngaro is the chair of the Jumuiya za County za Pwani. We are 6, stretching from Lamu all the way to Taita Taveta. And we are driving blue economy and agribusiness. We have the ocean around us. We have River Sabaki around us. We want spaces. For example, one other thing we want to look at in water, for example. We want to increase our productivity. We want spaces whereby in health and sanitation. Yeah. When you're talking of health tourism, when you're talking of conference tourism, because we want to be big in it. And we are calling on the locals, we are calling on the international spaces, that there is something in you in the investment conference, both in networking, the space in you, in marketing, for the small businesses. Yeah. No one is left out. We are saying in Kilifi, we are not leaving anyone behind. It's about coming in, tapping into the conversation, because the entrepreneurship conversation that is going to go on, the discussions, you're living with knowledge, you're living with networks, and you're giving room for new investors to come and tap in Kilifi County.
Thank you very much. Again, the Kilifi County International Investment Conference will be taking place next month, the 4th to the 6th of December. There'll be a golf tournament on the 7th. Okay. And to get more information about it is invest.kilifi.go.ke. That's invest.kilifi.go.ke. The numbers you can call 011 611 333 or 444 or 555.
Yes.
011 611 333 444 555. Her Excellency Flora Chibule, the Deputy Governor of Kilifi County, Charles Kamau, Advisor on Strategic Partnerships, and earlier we also had Lynne Farrah, the Chief Officer for Trade.
This is the Situation Room, the only way to start your day.